The child grew and was weaned, and Abraham held a great feast on the day Isaac was weaned. But Sarah saw the son mocking, the one Hagar the Egyptian had borne to Abraham. So she said to Abraham, "Drive out this slave with her son, for the son of this slave will not be the co-heir with my son Isaac." Now this was a very difficult thing for Abraham because of his son. But God said to Abraham, "Do not be concerned about the boy and your slave. Whatever Sarah says to you, listen to her, because your offspring will be traced through Isaac. But I will also make a nation of the slave's son, because he is your offspring." Early in the morning, Abraham got up, took bread and a water skin, put them on Hagar's shoulders, and sent her and the boy away. She left and wandered in the wilderness of Beersheba. When the water in the skin was gone, she left the boy under one of the bushes. She then went and sat down nearby, about a bow shot away, for she said, "I cannot bear to watch the boy die." So she sat nearby. She wept loudly. God heard the voice of the boy. The angel of God called to Hagar from heaven and said to her, "What's wrong, Hagar? Don't be afraid, for God has heard the voice of the boy from the place where he is. Get up, help the boy up, support him, for I will make him a great nation." Then God opened up her eyes, and she saw a well of water. So she went and filled the water skin and gave the boy a drink. God was with the boy, and he grew. He settled in the wilderness and became an archer. He settled in the wilderness of Patron, and his mother got a wife for him from the land of Egypt. Hagar was an Egyptian slave who helped serve Abraham's wife, Sarah. At Sarah's encouragement, Hagar gave birth to Abraham's first son, Ishmael. But 14 years later, when Sarah gave birth to Abraham's second son, Isaac, Hagar and Ishmael found themselves demoted to second-class citizens in their own home. So, after Ishmael mocked and mistreated Isaac, Sarah took the opportunity to have Hagar and her son kicked out of the family. Just as Hagar's plight seemed hopeless, the angel of the Lord, who many believe to be a pre-incarnate Jesus, lovingly intervened. Where there was fear, he spoke words into comfort. Where there was hopelessness, he promised hope for the future. Where there seemed to be death, he offered life-saving water. Just as Jesus later would come to offer living waters, God promised Hagar that her son would live and start a great nation. Just as in Genesis 16, Hagar called God El Rai, which means the God who sees. God saw this nobody, this foreign slave girl and her child, and did not overlook their distress. Hagar's story gives a glimpse into God's character and love for his children. Yes, God allowed Hagar and Ishmael to be sent away, which at first may be hard to understand. But then when we see that he never abandoned them, he continued to provide for them during their difficult circumstances. He kept his promises to them. God stepped into their situation and provided for their needs because he still had a plan for Hagar and Ishmael. Just as God saw Hagar, he sees you, and he sees his plan for you. God loves you and wants to comfort you and provide for you in difficult times. When things seem to be hopeless, turn to him.